In today's episode, we will take a journey into the making of the wiggle dragonfly. It's a little articulated olive nymph that I do. It's actually pretty simple. So we'll start off with the back hook, and I'm using number 10 scud hook for this. Olive Danville 210 thread. So all that goes into the back hook is some larva lace. So that's this. I went and got the 1,000-yard spool of this stuff. It usually comes in a smaller package. And I just come in with this and tie it on top of the hook, almost to the front of the hook, and then wrap with thread all the way back, a little bit down around the curve of the hook. And then to build it up a little bit and give it some more meat, I do like a underbody with just regular craft yarn. So I take a piece that's 2 little strands thick, and I tie that in so it comes up to right about where the end of the larval lace was, and then only go back about, I don't know, a 1/4 inch or so. And so there's just about 3 wraps kind of right in the center of the hook, and then tie that off there and kind of clean that piece up. So what that does is when you start to wrap this, there's a couple skinny wraps in the back, and then it kind of tapers up as it goes over that underbody, and then tapers back down as it comes off of it, and you kind of finish it off. And I actually kind of like a little bit of separation between some of those wraps, and I'll sometimes even come in and pull them apart because it just, I don't know, gives it a real buggy kind of look. And then I just finish that off. And then to join these, I'm stringing this on to a Power Pro. This is 50-pound Power Pro, and it just seems to work really well. And I just kind of threaded this one while it's still on the vise, and then I'll take that and fold it over about a little less than an inch or so, and then just snip it off so that you have like that. And normally I'll do a whole bunch of these first and string them on. Well, actually have my wife string them on for me. Then I come in with the front hook, same exact number 10 scud hook. Well, not the same exact one, obviously, but a very similar one. And then I do the eyeballs with this bead chain. Again, I went and got the giant spool of this stuff. I just snip off 2 of those, tie that in the front of the hook, a couple figure eights in either way, and just do those really tight so it doesn't roll around. And bring the thread back up about to the same spot, maybe not quite as far back. And then I just fold this over so there's the 2 strands, and I'll put a wrap there and go back towards that back hook so it's a little bit tight, but so it still has a little bit of play. You don't want too much or else it'll get fouled up. So you actually want it to be pretty far back there, so it just kind of wiggles like that. Once it gets wet, it'll loosen up a little bit more. And then I wrap that to the eyeball chain, and then I fold this back on top of itself that way, and then again back forward. So there's actually no knot involved, but if you do plenty of strong wraps with this strong thread on that Power Pro, that sucker is on there. You can't pull that off of there. And then for the wing case, I use Swiss straw in the same kind of olive color. And I'll just tie that in on the top of the hook like that, kind of all the way up toward the eye. So we're building, again, kind of an underbody. And then I'll wrap that back all the way as far as we did before to that back hook. Now for the legs or gill kind of part of it, I actually use, like when you tie a woolly bugger, like with a saddle hackle, you always have this little piece left over that normally often gets thrown away, but I actually just use this for this part. So I have a bunch of these saved up. I just kind of want to show you. So that would have been used for some other fly probably, and I'll use that for a woolly bugger or something. And then I just kind of lay that on top of there like that back so that those last fibers come out a little bit further than the back, and just kind of pinch it and wrap that and snip it off so that you have them sticking on both sides of the hook like that. And then I just snip off that tag piece that we just tied on, and then do it again with the next little section. And then depending on how full the feather is that you're using, sometimes that's enough. This one I'll probably do a third one if you have enough left. And do another one right there, right behind the eyes. And so that's really all that underbody is, but that gives it really good motion and under the water. That those little, it's kind of like marabou fibers. It's not really marabou, but those soft feather fibers. And so what I did there was wrap the Swiss straw in front of the eyes and then folded it back to give it that kind of clean head look around the eyes. And that's pretty much it. Just finish it off right behind those bead chain eyes. So it's a good way to use up some of those extra pieces of saddle hackle. And that's it, the Wiggle Dragonfly Nymph. See you next time.